I always do that. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I gotta supply that fire. Supply that fire, man. What is going on, bookworms? And welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump. I'm your host, Bump, also known as Shondus. If you're coming to this from the Snapchat plethora of followers that I've gained over the last couple of weeks, I'm up over 5,000 people on Snapchat somehow, some way, out of nowhere, and I am so grateful to have you coming along with the journey. This podcast, this show is just a smorgasbord of nonsense, really, but not at the same time. Using my experiences in life as a personal trainer, a tradesman, an all-around dog who's performed on perseverance and grit, I bring to you on a weekly basis threads that I pull from Twitter /X that pique my interest. Bookmarks that I found on the toilet that I never really had the time to read. So I pop up the microphone, sit down and say, listen, I want a podcast. Everybody's got a podcast. Why shouldn't I have a podcast? I want a podcast. This is my podcast. So welcome to the podcast. We're coming to you live from the land before time. Yes. And this week I might sound a little bit more clear. Last week I was testing out the handheld microphone. I'm going to need to adjust some frequencies and EQs on that thing for when I do have a guest in the studio. But as for now, just another solo episode of Bookmarks with Bump. And today, this week, overall, really, I'm feeling very cavalier. There is a maverick sense to me about how I'm attacking life on a day-to-day basis. There is no such answer as no in my life right now. I am achieving the things that I'm believing in, and I'm pushing myself to the limit every day, whether it be with my career, whether it be with my goals outside of work, whether it be with interpersonal relationships, just putting myself out there more, talking to people more often than I would. Sometimes I would be very introverted. As much as I have to offer, a lot of times I do keep that to myself, but that's not what we're on this planet for. We're put here on Earth to serve one another, and so that's what I've been deciding to do as of late. I'm putting myself out there as a service, whether it be as a personal trainer, as a friend, as you name it, I'm it, man. I'm an all-around jackass of all trades, master of absolutely none, except I might be a master of a couple, the English language being one of them. Here I am doing this podcast, and I'm thinking, what am I going to pull up threads on this week? It's been kind of hectic with everything going on. Being out on my own and just there's some sort of freedom that you can kind of pull yourself away from your responsibilities, but my responsibilities have been tied to me very heavily. Things at work are going great. I'm so close to finishing my apprenticeship, and I just see the glory. I see the glory. I managed to do well enough in my field of work where my work ethic has been noticed enough to have an extension of a job offered to a family member of mine. And my little brother will be joining me at work and taking on a new field of work for himself. And I'm so proud of him for stepping out of his comfort zone and deciding, hey, I'm still in my 20s. I have time to screw things up. I need to find my lane. And he's swerving from side to side, going from lane to lane. And let's see if he can pick it up over 75 and stay in the left lane on this one. I am so excited to have him be a part. I'm excited to be closer to him. That's going to be great. What else is going to be great? Pretty much everything. Last night I had a bevy of runs. We went 7-0 over at the recreation center. My buddy Kamar from work asked me to come out and play some basketball with him. Well, he's been asking me for a long time to play ball with him. Me being me, I talk my talk. And then I walk my walk right after. And he had been nudging me from time to time. And this week I was like, all right, so where do y'all play? And he told me. I showed up. We played on the same team. We went 7-0. We walked into work this morning undefeated. And I mean, the glory just emanating off of these two young bulls. We are just a couple of dogs wagging our tails, licking our chops. But it was fun to get back out there. The last time I actually played basketball was the last time I played an organized competitive game of basketball because I got my tooth knocked out in the summer of 22. That was not pleasant. However, it was a character building moment. I mean, I had never thought that day would come. After that, I quickly took to golf and stayed golfing, but here I am back on the court again, and it felt like home. I definitely had to knock off a little bit of the rust, but regardless, it was just great to be out there and pushing it. I mean, the effort, and the endurance that I've built through training for races, it pays off on the basketball court, especially towards the end of the night when people have hands on their hips. And I'm chirping, bouncing, going up and forth the court, put back, rebound, lay-ins. I mean, I looked like a young Jason Williams out there. Towards the end of the games, when everybody was fresh, it was a little bit tougher competition. But the last couple games is when I got my shots in, and I felt good. And I'm excited to keep going out there and get after it every Wednesday night. But here we are on a Thursday, and I'm deciding this is the time I'm going to kick my feet up and do the podcast. And there's nothing really to it but to do it. Where are we right now? We are on our 7th week of the half marathon training. I have a 10-mile run this Saturday scheduled, and I'm so excited to just get out there and hit double digits for the first time in a long time. It's going to be a tough run, and I know that. And I know that because towards the end of Saturday's work shift, when it's about time for me to get out and run, I start to get these butterflies, man, this anxiety. And I think it's just part of my internal instinct, knowing that I'm about to do exactly the thing that I've been put here to do. And I get out there and it's just free running. Bought a new pair of shoes, the Glycerin, I was in Glycerin GTS, the go-to stability Glycerin. And I feel in these Ghost 16s, I'm a Brooks boy. I have been for the last 2-3 years. I have been for the last 3 years. And I don't think I'm ever going back to anything but Brooks. But these Ghosts, I understand why they call them Ghosts, because they are so light and I feel like I'm floating. However, the ankle roll and the heel have this superior cushioning that makes them seem more stable than the GTS Glycerins did. So I'm excited to have those on my feet. I'm excited to have new shoes. I'm really just overall excited about everything in life right now. Things are trending on the up and up. Things are moving in the right direction, and I'm gaining speed. And speaking of speed, this is actually the first thread that I'm going to bring up this week. I was scrolling through the Twitter space, and I found a thread about the guy that everybody loves to hate or hates to love, Speed, the live streamer, Twitch, Kick, whatever platform he's streaming on. I don't really watch anybody's streams. However, I've seen clips of this guy, and he barks like a dog, so I know he speaks the same language as me. He's like a sneaky athlete. Not last month, but the month before, he for whatever reason was entered into the Royal Rumble and took the nastiest spear from Braun Breaker that I've ever seen in my life. This spear put Edge's spears, Goldberg spears to shame. Braun Breaker is this up-and-comer who's he's Rick Steiner's son. Played football at Kennesaw State. He's just an absolute animal, and he's running through people, and Speed just happened to be one of those guys. But let's not highlight the lowlights of Speed. Let's talk about how he became who he was. And this is inspiring. This is an inspiring story. And that's what we're going to go over on this podcast. A little bit of perseverance, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of resilience, and a little bit of balance. So, Love Architect put out this thread. He turned $1.79. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back on that. I'm already messing up. It wouldn't be a Bookmarks with Bump episode without me flubbing a couple lines, would it? Now, he turned $1.79 into 43 million fans. I showed Speed didn't just break into the game, he rewrote the rules. In 3 years, he overtook KSI, Logan Paul, and Aiden Ross. Here's how a 17-year-old dominated the internet from his bedroom. Okay. In 2022, Speed was already turning heads. His energy, explosive. His streams, pure chaos. And his fan base was growing fast. But then came a 179 super chat that flipped everything. What soccer team do you support? Speed fired back without hesitation. Cristiano Ronaldo. Sweet. One shout, one moment, one viral clip that catapulted him into global fame. The clip went viral like wildfire. Out of nowhere, Speed found himself in front of a brand new audience, the global football scene. Fans weren't just watching, they were obsessed with his over-the-top reactions, nailed it, mispronunciations, and pure chaos. Instead of backing off, Speed doubled down. Then came FIFA. But Speed didn't just play FIFA. He turned every match into a World Cup final. Screaming, dancing, celebrating like a madman. It wasn't gaming anymore. It was a global show. And at the heart of this madness, one name echoed louder than the rest. Neymar. Cristiano Ronaldo. Speed didn't just admire him, he worshipped him. He screamed his name, tattooed him on his arm, built an entire persona around one dream, meeting his hero. And so began the wildest chase on the internet. Now, this is what piques my interest here. I myself, I've said many times that I'm like a seasonal video game connoisseur. And what I mean by that is every time when the winter comes around, I'll find some time to play some Madden, NCAA football, Grand Theft Auto, little games like that, but I'm not a huge gamer, right? What fascinates me this day and age is the amount of people that will sit down and watch somebody play video games. Now, for me, growing up, you would have friends, you'd go over their house, you'd sit down, and you'd watch them play video games. Me, I'd like to be a part of the game. More often than not, I'm watching a friend play. That to me was boring. So it's interesting to me how many people have become worldwide, world-renowned celebrities because people are tuning in to watch them play. But the thing about it is their banter behind the game, their commentary of the game, the way that they emote, and there's personality that comes into these streamers. And Speed is one that's kind of it's hard to ignore this guy, to be honest. So the thread goes on to say he chased Ronaldo across continents, from the FA Cup in London to the World Cup in Qatar, just for a glimpse of his idol. The internet watched, cheered, and obsessed. This wasn't just Speed's dream anymore. It became everyone's mission. And then finally, it happened. After months of screaming, chasing, and near misses, it finally happened. In a dim parking garage beneath the stadium in Portugal, Speed locked eyes with his hero, Cristiano Ronaldo. It wasn't the climax of his story. It was the origin of something bigger. And as always, the threads that I read along are in the description of the video, the podcast, wherever you're taking in this content. You can follow along with what I'm reading. And the video of Speed when he meets Cristiano Ronaldo it's so wholesome. The guy gets down. It's embarrassing, but it's wholesome because the guy is so excited. He can't relax. He can't calm himself down. He gets down on his knees like he's worshiping Jesus. Amazing. The thread goes on to say, Speed didn't just go viral. He went worldwide. From the streets of Tokyo to the beaches of Brazil, from India's chaos to Norway's frozen crowds, every stop turned into a flashpoint of fan hysteria. In Oslo, the scene got so wild he had to call the police. But instead of slowing down, the madness only supercharged his rise. Sick backflip Speed. 2024 marked a new peak in Speed's journey. He raced through 18 countries across Europe in just 1 month. Then he lit up Southeast Asia, drawing over 1 million live viewers in a single stream. A new world record. And remember the kid who sent that first $1.79 donation? He met Speed in person, a surreal full circle moment that brought the entire story home. Speed is living proof that this is a big part. Can't mess this up. Speed is living proof that authenticity works. Speed is living proof that authenticity wins. He didn't build an empire by playing it safe. He didn't grow a fan base by copying others. He didn't go viral by trying to be perfect. He showed up loud, real, and unapologetically himself. Bam. This thread actually is perfect because it comes around full circle and gives you the message. And that's really the same message that I was going to give on this guy. He's himself. No matter how much you tell him to chill out, no matter how much you tell him to calm down, if you watch the videos that he had done with Mr. Beast over the summer, you'd see that Mr. Beast was kind of annoyed with the guy. Myself, I get annoyed with the guy, but I don't sit there and take in his content. Like, he's not my flavor. But I understand there's something about him that's undeniable, and that's that he's him. He doesn't care what people think about him, what people say about him. He knows that he's making a contribution. He's putting something out into the world. People are taking it in. People are enjoying it. And he's not doing anything negative, other than being a bad example from time to time on how to act in public. But nonetheless, he is who he is. He doesn't make excuses for it. He doesn't come up with anything. He's just himself. And that's commendable. And it's authentic in that authenticity, that just being yourself and not being fake, not being a character, not playing to the crowd. That speaks volumes. Not just if you're just trying to put out content. In real life, being yourself is powerful. You'll come across so many people who are playing a character, who are just trying to get by, who are just trying to do what they think they're supposed to do, instead of doing what they're called to do. And I implore you, if you take anything from this thread about speed, you do. No matter how down bad you are, no matter how down and out you are, you do what you feel you are called to do. And if you continue to operate on that, eventually success will come. It might not come where you're currently at, but if that's the case, you weren't supposed to get it there. You're going to get it where you belong. And you'll find out where you belong when you're yourself. Now, speaking of down bad, there was a time where one of the biggest fast food chains in the world was down very bad. And this was 2018. Tech and AI Hub puts out a thread about KFC. Everybody loves chicken. Me personally, I'm a Popeyes guy, but let's see what they have to say about KFC. In 2018, KFC pulled something off. Just disappeared on me. Pulled off the greatest comeback in food history. Now that's what I'm talking about. KFC ran out of chicken because of a delivery mistake. 750 branches shut down, millions of hungry customers, and outraged public. But what KFC did in response changed business forever. Here's the full story. February 2018, KFC's just switched delivery contracts from Bidvest to DHL. Usually these changes are routine and no one bats an eyelid, but this time the change would trigger one of the biggest PR disasters in fast food history. Within days, chaos had erupted across Britain. 750 out of 900 KFC stores had to close their doors. Over 26,000 team members left stranded. What could have been so bad? The unthinkable had happened. A chicken chain had ran out of chicken, and the British public was not amused. So many people called the police that the UK police tweeted, "Please do not contact us about the KFC crisis. It's not a police matter." But that was just the start. The newspapers were brutal. And according to popular public sentiment, their brand impression score dropped from -2 to -12. The company was in crisis. But then, KFC's marketing team made a decision that would revolutionize crisis management. Instead of hiding, they went bold. They bought full-page ads in Britain's newspapers. And what they did next went down in marketing history. They took their iconic letters and rearranged them to spell FCK. Bold. I love that. Right then and there, in black and white, for all of Britain to see. Beneath it, the most honest company apology ever written. No corporate jargon, no PR spin, just a raw honesty. A chicken restaurant without any chicken, it's not ideal. Then, it's been a hell of a week. The internet erupted. What happened next will blow your mind. Here's the letter. We're sorry. A chicken restaurant without any chicken. It's not ideal. Huge apologies to our customers, especially those who traveled out of their way to find we were closed. And endless thanks to our KFC team members and our franchise partners for working tirelessly to improve the situation. It's been a hell of a week, but we're making progress. And every day more and more fresh chicken is being delivered to our restaurants. Thank you for bearing with us. The campaign reached 797 million people through traditional media alone. Another 219 million saw it on social. Over 700 press articles were written. KFC's positive attention score skyrocketed from 7% to 29%. They didn't just save their reputation, they enhanced it. Why? They dared to be human when everyone expected corporate. They called it the 3 H's: humility, humor, and honesty. Simple principles that transformed a PR nightmare into marketing gold. And it revealed something profound about modern business. We're living in the age of authenticity. The era of polished corporate images is dead. Today's audiences crave real stories, real mistakes, and real people. It's why Tesla isn't just a car company, it's Elon's vision. This shift changes everything for our founders. Your company's story isn't just about your product. It's about you, your journey, your mission. And you can create content that puts your authenticity at the forefront. When you share that story, magic happens. Trust builds naturally. Customers become believers. Your reputation works while you sleep, and attracting opportunities you've never imagined. Just like it turned a crisis into an opportunity for KFC. Very similar to the appeal of Speed. Speed being a content creator who's unapologetically himself. KFC just came out and said, hey, we screwed up. FCK, not KFC. What a brilliant spin to put on it. Very easy, little 3 letters, made it seem simple, but look at the result. People bought back in because they were authentic, because they were themselves. They weren't looking to come up with an excuse. Now, me personally, knowing this service, I would have just blamed DHL. Arguably the worst delivery service known to man. These people suck. They are not great. Every package from DHL ends up taking longer than the USPS would. I remember there was a short period of time here in Connecticut where DHL packages would arrive. Okay, now, granted, they're supposed to arrive. That's half of what a package is doing. But you're used to UPS or FedEx, and then all of a sudden these obnoxious yellow trucks started coming around. And these deliveries, I guess they were international, the DHL deal. They were an international delivery thing. And honestly, everything that you ordered that came on DHL took 3 to 4 weeks. Not cool with that, especially when you got chicken. And if it's fresh, that means it's not frozen. So you got refrigerated chicken in the back of these trucks for God knows how long. KFC did it right by unapologetically being themselves. Authenticity is the key that will always unlock any door you want to get into. Now, let's unlock another door. And what I'm talking about here is something that actually came up yesterday at work. One of my buddies at work, he was asking me questions about health and fitness because that's, who I am at work. I'm the health and fitness guy. I'm the guy with the muscles and the guy who's going on a run after work and the guy with an expendable amount of energy and all of these tootings of my own horn that I don't really want to necessarily do on this platform. However, it is what people know me as. They know me. They know I'm a dog. And that's just what it is. However, comes up to me. He's like, I got a high school reunion, blah, blah, blah. How do I lose 40 pounds? And I'm like, okay, well, there's plenty of ways to do this. Another buddy of mine hopped in on the conversation and decided to tell him, hey, just cut out the carbs. I hate that answer. I hate these answers. I hate these cheat sheets, these cheat codes, these shortcuts. There's no shortcut in longevity. There's no shortcut to enhancing your quality of life. These shortcuts actually decrease your quality of life. They make you miserable. Do you want to live a life where you can't eat all of your favorite things? Or do you want to live a life where you can manage to eat your favorite things because of what you're doing outside of that? It's not just all day I'm eating peanut butters and fluffs, but there is once in a while that I get to have a peanut butter and fluff. Now, if I can train myself to think like that, I'll buy peanut butter and fluff and put it in my pantry. But however, some people aren't designed for that. However, balance and moderation is the most important thing when it comes to increasing your health and your fitness. You're never going to find long-term success cutting everything out, because you have to reintroduce those things every once in a while. As much as you don't want to be the fat guy at the reunion, you also don't want to be the guy saying, no, I can't have that cannoli at somebody's retirement party. You want the cannoli just as much as you want the six-pack. And there's a thread that I came across that might detail exactly how. I could detail exactly how. Basically, follow me for a week of my life and do everything that I do, and you could do that. Or you can follow Pierre and see what he said. Because here's how he never went above 12% body fat. Here's how he never went above 12% body fat despite drinking every week, ew, never doing a cut, okay, and always getting dessert. Yes! Let me show you how I managed to maintain a top-tier physique without much trying. There are 4 things you need to have down: muscle mass to burn calories, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, diets that let you eat more, and the right approach to cardio. I like all of these. I'm nailing all of these. To be clear, I am 24 years old. I know that most of you want to hear this from a 43-year-old who is diced. However, the average 24-year-old is pudgy, true. So I'd say there's a problem and you should listen. Mass to burn calories. The more muscle that's on your frame, the higher your basal metabolic rate will be in general. This is what I was telling my boy. The way to speed run this is to blast the biggest muscles in your body. This is also what I was talking about: glutes, lats, and quads. Your back, your legs, and your ass are the biggest muscles on the human body. The bigger those muscles are, the more you attack those muscles, the more your metabolism will spike up. You get the most bang for your buck by adding mass here. And since they're the biggest, they require the most force. So while raising your BMR, you'll also be doing workouts that burn slightly more calories. Too many people saying, I don't want to build muscle over fat. That's not how the body works. And that's a ticket to skinny fat, Nate Diaz. Your muscles are what will melt the fat off your body. Deep squats, pull-ups, front squats. That's the heavy quad lift of choice for this fella Pierre here. Sick name. Parlez-vous français? NEAT, non-exercise activity thermo. In gym bro terms, this means do not be a couch potato. You are trying to convince your body that holding extra weight is harmful. Your body is the ultimate adapter. If your body thinks you are going to war, it will provide you with that bioweaponry. Anything works here. Pace around, walk every 30 minutes, work standing up, shadow box your wife. I love that. I love that tactic. The goal is to never sit down for extended periods of time. The longer your butt touches a cushion, the more your body shapes its form to match that activity, a sedentary lifestyle. The opposite is also true. Diet that lets you eat more. Your body is really damn good at processing a food, not a million foods. All the diets that shred you the hardest usually have one thing in common: the separation of energy sources. Your body will burn carbs for energy, or it will burn fats. It tends to store one while preferring the other. So your game plan should be to get really good at burning one fuel source, and then restricting the other one for parts of the day. You could follow a Ray Peat line of thought, where you try to become extremely efficient at burning carbs with various things like high-dose B1, thyroid optimization, protein restriction, or a carnivore-style diet where your body oxidizes fats primarily. I'm not liking this part. They aren't the only options. They both aren't permanent ways to live, in my opinion, and mine as well. And they have their time and place. DYOR, and do not let a Twitter account choose your diet forever. Do your own research. That's what DYOR means. That must be a new popular little thingy here. A lot of people are saying that. The important thing is that you start thinking of food as fuel. I change between diet styles as I want. I love this. And this is a saying that I came up with. And I probably didn't even come up with it in 2020. But I was having a hard time just eating cake and cake and cake. A lot of sweets were accessible to me at the time, and I was gorging upon them. And I had to remind myself, and I reminded myself over and over, that food is not for pleasure, food is for fuel. Once you've nailed that, lop your supplements on top. It's an edge. Why on earth wouldn't you take it? Supplements for shredding. I'm not doing free advertisements, but you should be taking vitamin D, magnesium, basically a one-a-day vitamin, an all-around vitamin, and making sure that you're up and up on all of the levels in your blood. Anything that you're deficient in, you should supplement. Then we have more supplements that I'm not going to get into. An array of peptides that I will refrain from mentioning as I don't take any. Neither do I. I'm a hyper natty. Cardio. Cardio is simple. Train in a way that tells your body you require less fats, whether that's sprints, high intensity interval training, or long and steady state, zone 2. If you are consistently exploding into a straight line at max power, you will gain the muscles needed to do it better and lose the fat that's holding you back in the process. It also just makes your body more efficient at torching calories, whereas too much long distance jogging will have the opposite effect. Intensity is greater than duration. Now this hurts me because our bodies, endurance runner's body wants to hold on to some fat for when the carbohydrate reserves get shrunk down to zero. You got to have something to pull from. And that's fine because 11 to 12% is achievable for absolutely everyone, including myself. And 11 to 12% is a beautiful amount of body fat. Right now, I'm currently at 14% body fat. It's not high, it's not low, and I'm shredded. You could go lower, but why? Through sports, I've hit all the levels from 5 to 12%. It's not fun under 10. It's really not, because your penis starts working, your motivation is down, your mood is terrible, you're depressed all of the time. You don't have as much fat flowing through your body, so the lipids aren't getting attached and going up into the minerals aren't attaching to the lipids in your body and getting sent to your brain. It makes things hard to enjoy because you're so laser focused on being a dog. And that's the end of the thread there. And Pierre's got it going on. At 24 years old, this guy is destined for a long life of longevity, success, being fit, being active, being an animal. And hopefully this information can help as it spreads across everybody listening to the podcast. I know I have some new listeners every single week now due to the Snapchat following. I thank you all for joining the show and being a part of it. You can be a bigger part if you decide to click subscribe, like, leave a comment, leave a rating or a review, whatever it is. Follow me on socials at Bump of TTS on Twitter, TCGX on Instagram. Find me on Snapchat if you haven't found me already. It's Shondas. Holler at me there. If you need help, if you have a bookmark that you want me to expound upon, send it over to the email, bookmarkswbump@gmail.com. And as always, I'm available for private personal training. Not really available to be there face to face, but I will be your accountability buddy. I will help you build a workout routine that's catered to what you're looking to do with your life specifically. And I'm always offering my services to help because that's what we're here for, man. And as always, God bless. I'm a night rider. I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.